Well, you're still watching the AM show with myself and Roland. And remember, you can get interactive with us on Facebook and Twitter. We are JoyNews on TV. We also stream live on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, regularly. So you can watch us through the channel Major Online TV. But we have to have some conversation. We know that for the new Patriotic Party, it's a period where they are electing their executives. They started from the local level right down to the regional and the constituency level. Now they are the national.
And so John Boadu is the substantive national organizer of the governing New Patriotic Party, but he's also the acting general secretary.
Well, as the NPP prepares for the National Delegates Conference, where it will elect its national executives, Mr. Boadu says he wants to be elected substantive general secretary.
But what's his vision for the party? He's been speaking to my colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
I want to find out from you. John Boadu, you've been acting as the general secretary of the party and also the organizer of the party, as well as the substantive organizer of the party as well. So we want to find out what are some of the things. I mean, have you gone through the party ranks and who is John Boadu to be precise?
Yeah, thank you very much. You're most welcome. John Boadu is a party activist who has been part of the party process over the years. I started as a polling station chairman in Ablekuma South, Kolebu Police Station. I was then on campus as an NPP member on campus. Contested as constituency secretary for Ablekuma South constituency towards the 2000 elections. Was then part of the training programs that was put together by Courage Kwashiga, who was then the national organizer of the party. That took me to, particularly in the Volta region, Ashanti region, Eastern region, and Greater Accra, training party people to know what the party stands for, preparation towards the election in 2000, monitoring the polls, and training of agents around at that time. Thankfully, the people of this country gave us the power to run the country. After the victory in 2000, I continued as constituency secretary, also became the director of research and information for Greater Accra region. It is there that we started this serial calling. I was part of that team that Jake Obechevilante put together to help government respond and propagate government programs and activities. I was also appointed as a finance officer, not appointed, employed as a finance officer of the party, more or less an accountant for the party in 2002, when the party decided to do the first ever election of national youth officers and national women's officers of the party. I contested to become the national youth treasurer of the party. That was the one and only time we had national youth secretary, treasurer, and organizer. Mustafa was elected as the national youth organizer of the party. Yes. I became the national youth organizer of the party in 2005, and in 2010 was appointed as deputy director of communication. Akomia was then the director of communication. We worked through up to 2000, after 2012. Even as the director of communication, I was more or less in charge of the training of our agents across the country. So myself and Brigadier Ode, Martina J. Kosa put together training kits to train trainers for the party in the various constituencies towards the 2012 elections. After 2012 election, I became the national organizer, and you know, in Tamale, the party people endorsed me massively. Over 80% of the delegates voted for me to become the national organizer of the party. And that was a message that was so strong The only message was that I should organize the party for victory. So that was what was that took me to work, and that was reminding me all the time to continue to work to ensure that we had victory. Unfortunately, when there were some few crises, the National Executive Committee added an additional responsibility for me to act as General Secretary.
Sure.
It was a daunting task, but having worked in the party right from polling station, particularly as Constituent Secretary over the period, it only came as an added responsibility to me. Again, the party also added an additional responsibility to be the operational director for the campaign. What it means is that any decision of the campaign, I have to make sure that the decision is implemented to the latter.
I see.
And so I was in charge of making sure party decisions, campaign decisions are implemented. And you can imagine. But I have a group of assistants that also helped. Sami Oku was my deputy director of operations for the campaign. Kamadin was also there to help. At the party level, I have 4 deputies. Two deputy organizers and 2 deputy general secretaries. Then coupled with my party staff. So I was managing the thing, but a lot of people were working on the ground to make sure that we chalk the success that you saw. And you can see clearly that this was a party that was managed in such a way that after elections, just 7 hours after the elections, we knew our results. It didn't come by chance. It is by dint of hard work by people at the top and people at the grassroots. We went even further, not only getting our party ready, we even appointed IT coordinators at the constituency level. We even had D-Day coordinators. We had D-Day coordinators.
What was it? The election day? Responsible
for. We did what we call a D- plan. I won't even go further. But we had D-Day coordinators at the national level, one responsible for the southern part, the other responsible for the northern part. We had D-Day coordinators for the region and the constituencies. They were linked up with our IT team to ensure the success that you saw. We had results that the Electoral Commission didn't even have. And this is as a result of the hard work, dedication, and effort put together by the national, region, constituency, and the polling stations. And it is something that I think that the good people of this country we're happy about.
So that is why, Mr. Boadu, some have said that you're a fantastic organizer. You've already narrated to us how you managed the party before the election, and of course we also saw the massive victory of the NPP in the just ended election. So the big question is that why don't you maintain the national organizer position and continue to organize and manage the party in your capacity to help the party win the 2020 election, but rather want to move on to the general secretary position?
As an organizer, you are in charge of the training department of the party and in charge of developing messages and helping disseminate this information. But as General Secretary, you are in charge of the entire operations of the party. And I'm one person that have gone through all the departments of political, the running of a political party. As a finance officer, as an organizer of the party, as a communicator, as a trainer, at almost every. So I understand all the departments that makes a party successful. And having acted for almost 1.5 years, close to 2 years, and having successfully managed the party to this level, I think that I am the best person now to administer and ensure that the party is steered to the direction all of us want to see the party going. It is for that reason why I think that at this moment it is better I opt to become the General Secretary of the party.
Because
and again, we need to also encourage the growth of the party by encouraging other people who also contributed to also grow in the party. So I have somebody like Samuel who was then the youth organizer who also wants to become the national organizer. I'll be there to also guide him.
You've given him your blessings?
Obviously, considering the time, you realize that he's one of the few people who are ready to learn and also ready to also continue the kind of work that we did together. We have other people who also must also be helped to grow up. It is not proper for you to stay at one place for a very long time, blocking everybody's chance. But if I had decided to contest as an organizer, it will also block the chances of other people to also grow in the party.
I see. That's an interesting principle that you have given us. So let us go into the message you are giving to the delegate. Because here we know that you have another contender or someone who is contesting you as a General Secretary of the party. So what is the message you are giving to the delegate? Because we have some candidates are already promising some buses, others are promising institutionalizing the constituency and all of that. So what are you also promising?
The message is simple. I'm coming to administer the party, and you need to make sure that the offices of the party is efficient, that decisions of the party are implemented to the latter. So we need to have functional offices to work with. As I go around, I realize that most of our party offices are either in a rented homes or hide places and all that. This is something that I want to make sure that we have a functional office, and so build party offices in all our 275 constituencies. I've already started in my rounds up north. A lot of the constituencies have different stages of where our party is. There are others who already have their office. Those are offices that will encourage them, motivate them, resource them to either furnish the place or make sure that if it's about computers that they need to have, we've been delivering them. Some have acquired party offices. We also contribute by providing them resources, or even in some cases we give them seed money to be able to start erecting party offices. And I believe that for a 4-year term we'll be able, if for nothing at all, if not able to get offices at the zonal level or polling station level, at the constituency level, at a base, we should be able to have it. Because sometimes it's distressful to go to a place. For instance, in Mion constituency, we're having the meeting under a tree. When I asked, because they used to have an office that I know over the years. Unfortunately, their landlord have decided to use the land for other activities. And this is generating interest amongst the constituency. Anywhere I go, either they've purchased land for the erection of a party office, or they have one that they need support. This is something that I think that will be my focus. The other thing that will be my focus is to resource the constituency to work for the party. Our constitution already provides that constituency secretaries must be remunerated in order for them to be at the office 24/7. This has not been implemented. This one, I'll make sure it is implemented so that at least some allowances will go to our constituency secretaries for them to manage our office for us. For the broader constituency executives, that's why some are also talking about providing buses. This is an arrangement that the party, through private initiative, is acquiring these vehicles to be run by a transport agency or transport.
So it's not like it's an individual initiative.
No, it is not.
Seeking to
it is an individual.
No.
It is an individual initiative, but it is not going to come from individual pockets and to be run by individuals. No. What the party is doing through with the national chairman, that is Honorable Freddie Blay, is to put together a vehicle that will enable us acquire these buses to be run by one of these renowned transport institution on behalf of the constituencies, so that at the end of every month, the revenue that is generated, part to be used to repay the cost of procuring the vehicle, and the profit realized will be given to the constituencies. Then for about 2.5 years, depending on the arrangement, we'll be able to pay off the cost of the buses. Then the buses become the property of the constituencies. These and other initiatives are being put together in order to ensure that our constituencies are run on their own with little support from region and national. There are certain events that definitely will be supported by national. Training program, money for agents, mobilization, one-on-one campaign and all that. Those ones will be done with support from national, but their own activities, going for funerals, outdoorings, and all that kind of activities, we will put in place some measures in order for them to be able to raise their own resources to run the constituency.
You know, 2 quick questions and we are done with this interview. One, there's an issue got to do with the level of apathy that is gradually creeping into the party, because we do understand that some of the grassroots members are already complaining because the MMDCs, the MPs have neglected them in a way. As a general secretary, what are some of the things you do to ensure that you keep some of these things that have started creeping into the party?
Well, I don't know where you've been to. I've been to the 54 out of the 57 constituencies in the 3 northern regions.
Okay.
I was just coming from the Boadu region. It varies. There are a few of the areas that the relationship between the party, the MP, and the MMDCs are not cordial. In most of the areas it is. Okay. If they are not cordial, it creates the apathy you are talking about. Even if you send a program or a policy for it to be done, information does not get down well to the broad masses of our people. And this is something that we will be dealing with it. Reports of each and every constituency has been done. We'll sit down with government to look at those areas that need further cementing in order to ensure that that relationship is there. Because if you don't deal with it now, it is that creates the apathy on the ground. So, for instance, if there are opportunities in government and constituency people are not informed, it becomes very difficult for them to also inform our members on the ground in order for them to also benefit from the opportunities that are available. Government is doing so well, but doing so well is not enough. People that believe in the vision of the government must be seen to be championing and pushing the vision, because if you are not careful, you do so well, but it will be done by people who will not, or who don't even believe in the government, and this creates the kind of apathy that we are talking about. So it is something that we are working around the clock to make sure that we are able to cement the relationship in order to ensure that the mandate given to us by the people of this country, when the time comes for us to account to them in 2020, it will be easy for the people of this country to return us to continue to run the country.
Now, let me get your reaction on a comment made by one of the members of the NPP. Of course, he's a leading member of the party, and I'm making reference to Nana Kumia, that he stepped down from the race basically because if you look at those contesting, the aspirant, it looks like they are all from the Akan background. It's not giving way for those within the northern extraction to also have the opportunity to, contest in this election. What will be your quick reaction to this issue?
I think that if he had waited to see the people that put in application and those that mustered the courage to file, you will have realized that there are lots more people coming from other regions of our country. Nobody prevented anybody from picking up forms or from filing to contest for any of the positions. It is for that reason that we've even gone further to make provision for other positions in the party that help us to take care of what the election could not achieve. Because whether you like it or not, the positions are available for contest. Chairman, 3, vice chairman, that's 3, general secretary 4, treasurer 5, national organizer 6, youth 7, women, and that's just 9. We have 10 regions. So whether you like it or not, you have all the regions represented as a result of elections. That is where even you are getting 1 from each region. It is also possible that you get 2 coming from 1 region. It is the decision of the electorate. And nobody can decide that the electorate should vote in one way or the other. But we have an arrangement in the party where we can supplement that shortfall as a result of the election, and by bringing other people who are also competent from other regions to complement the effort. So I think that we've done that over the years, right from 1992. Even in presidential, we always balance our tickets. We are the only party in Ghana that always, if we have somebody from the south as our candidate, we always get somebody from the north to complement the ticket. We even go further to make sure that if our candidate is a Christian, we get somebody who is also a Muslim to complement that ticket. So we are not bereft of making sure that the Constitution that provides that you should have officers to represent the entirety of the country. We've never had an executive that does not have that at all. So it is a comment that I think was done too early in the day. If he had waited for us to finish the filing and the vetting, he will have realized that we will still have. But who do you begrudge? It is an election. It is not
an open contest.
Yeah, it is an open contest that does not prevent anybody from anywhere from contesting.
Okay.
So I think that it is something that we must be guiding against. Our opponents, principally NDC, for them, their message is limited. So they always want to play on the keyboard of people's emotion. When they feel almost all Voltairean executives, nobody comments. When they decide that, if you look at their whole national executive setup, you have few people coming from the Akan extraction. But we believe that it is the decision of their delegates. It is not a decision by the party to fill those areas. But we, knowing where we are coming from and knowing and also agreeing that we should have executives coming from almost every part of our country, have other means of making sure that you have that. So if you look at the current executives, you have all regions represented. And it is not just this current, the previous executive, the penultimate executive, almost all executives that we've had over the years. So this Koforidua conference is not going to be different at all.
Thank you.
Whatever decision is taken, we'll complement it and make sure that we have national executives that represent the national character of the party. And what we must also realize is that it is not only national officers who are the faces of the party. The main decision-making body of the party is the National Executive Committee, of which we have all regional chairpersons, members of the National Executive Committee. We have representation from Parliament. Then we have the steering committee, who are the national officers as members of the National Executive Committee. The second highest decision-making body of the party is the National Council. Each region is represented, in addition to the regional chairpersons of the party, 5 constituencies in a region is represented by 1 person. So if you take Northern region, or if you take Ashanti region, we have 47 constituencies. What it means is that they will be represented by 9 council members from the region. You understand? So, and it is divided in such a way that you have half of the members as regional officers and half as non-regional officers. So that take care not only of Ashanti region, but take care of the zones in the Ashanti region. So you see, the party is a broad party, the party is a national party. So we always make conscious effort to make sure that all segments of the country, whether tribe, whether religion, whether region, whether ethnic, is represented at the highest body, the National Council of our party.
Mr. Boadu, thank you very much for your time. And finally, the election, 6, 7, 8 July, is that what it is?
Yes, just as you are aware, we, at our extraordinary conference held in Kumasi, the party took a decision to hold its national delegates conference between 15th, 16th, and 17th. Fortunately or unfortunately, our brothers, our Muslim brothers, will be having their Eid al-Fitr around 15th, 16th, 17th. And a party like ours cannot go ahead to hold our conference at a time that we are having such a massive celebration from our Muslim community. So the steering committee yesterday took a decision to extend the period for the national conference, and we've decided on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of July.
And everything is being done to meet that target?
We are almost set. If we had decided to maintain the same time, the process, all the arrangement, the election process, filing, vetting, and everything is in set. Arrangement on the ground, operations on the ground, everything has been done. This even affords us more time and opportunity to do it better than even we expected. So now the date has changed, but all the arrangements are still intact.
Thank you very much. John Boadu is the acting General Secretary of the party, and then he's believing that by the end of middle July, he's going to be the substantive General Secretary of the party. Mr. Boadu, we wish you well.
We wish you well.